yaide, opiyu yaide o, opiyu yaide o lukama. And so I want us to travel on a journey. I want us to travel all the way into the heart of Africa. I want us to travel all the way to West Africa. And no other place I want us to travel to but into the beautiful country of Ghana. I want us to go all the way to see, to visit, to pay respect to the wonderful Ashanti Kingdom. But not just the Ashanti Kingdom, to the Asante Hene.
Welcome back to Blacktricity and Beyond the Return, here with gotkushTV, our pre-Kwanzaa showcase. We've got so much more to come your way. I'm your Ankh Doctor, alongside our international storyteller who just gave an absolutely fabulous performance. Usifu, JALLOH, how are you doing, sir? I love what you do. It's just so captivating, you know. And as we're explaining to our audience, international as always and in demand. Yeah.
Yes.
Every time we seem to see you on social media, you're somewhere telling a story. How many countries have you visited in the last couple of years?
Oh my, quite a bit. I don't even remember the numbers. At least maybe about 10 countries, you know. But just touring around, going to many different schools particularly, and educating people about Africa. Really, that is the main thing. Storytelling is about that. You know, telling a different narrative, giving a narrative to inspire, to educate, and of course to entertain as well, because that is the kind of package that is Africa. We don't just we don't just entertain. It's a package of education and motivation as well. So I'm doing all of that around the world, sharing stories about Africa that many people would not necessarily think about, and giving people an African lens to look at Africa.
I love the way you say African lens, because very much the style of storytelling that you do is a traditional style, yes, which is a dying art. Yeah, and it's something very much you're at the forefront of keeping alive, right?
Yes, very much, especially the oral part of it, the oral side of the storytelling. It is incredibly important that is kept and maintained. You know, just about a month ago, I was asked by the minister in my country, who's the Minister of Culture, to enter a competition It is for an organization based in Niger, and they were collating stories, oral stories from across Africa that they want to archive. Now, but what they wanted me to do was to write my own story, both in English and in my native language, which for me I thought beats the whole purpose. If it's oral storytelling, then go around and collect the oral storytelling from people and archive that. So people, because the storytelling for us is not only about just what is written down. How can you know, how can you say, you know, kusang bogoro pasina nebla pasina rekenterek pasina nebla pasina nebla kusang bogoro pasina nebla. How can you
write that down?
How do you write that down? You see? So if it's oral, it's oral. Yes. And we have to maintain this. And if anything I am pushing more on, it's about oral. And so many editors are on my case to write these stories down. Not because I don't want to write them down, but I know when you write them down, African stories have tones and vibrations that they carry, which are just as important as the words that are being said. And all of this is important in carrying our spirit in it. It's not just about, here is a story and go. If that is what African storytelling is about, then there is no point. But the African way, the African lens, is about holistic stuff. So it's your spirit, it's your energy, as much as it's your syllables.
So now, when we're looking at everything that's taken place this year, and your traveling has ceased a little bit, I know you're heavily involved with trying to, for want of a better word, help with the diaspora upgrading Sierra Leone?
Very, very important.
This is where you're from, right?
Well, yes, Sierra Leone, of course, that's where I'm from. What's important is this. You can water the leaves all you like. If you don't water the roots, that plant will die. The roots is in Africa. It's in the young people that are there. Those of us in the diaspora, we are the flowers. We are the leaves and branches.
It's a great way of putting it.
We do have to understand that the vitality we have is coming from the roots. The roots is working hard to keep us. If we do not feed back to it, eventually we are going to end up being grafted. And many of us are grafted in this Western society that we're living in. So because we're grafted, we're not seeing the tree, if you like, or we're not seeing the world from our own standpoint.
Yes.
So where we're at is that we're standing on the Western standpoint to view the world. We have our standpoint as much as
we have an African. It's as if it's what the great late Baba Hugh Masekela said.
Yes.
We have become so westernized. We've become poor versions of Europeans as Africans, as black people. Well, we're not saying that the West doesn't have anything to offer, yeah, but know thyself. Don't lose yourself.
It's that.
And this is the same thing, right?
That's very, very tragic. It's very tragic because when you're not being yourself, if there is a sin, it is the sin of not knowing yourself and not being yourself. If you're a size 9, what are you doing wearing a size 15? It means you're paying surplus. If you're wearing a size 6, it means you're suffering and you're struggling. That's the position that we're in when we do not know ourselves. We don't know our size. If we're not viewing the world from our standpoint, it means we will never give a right definition and will not understand the value we're adding to the world. So standing from the European Western point of view or Chinese point of view or whichever point of view that may come to us and looking from that, the craziest thing about that is what? Not only are we standing and looking at the world from those other standpoints, they've even given us lenses that is not suited to our eyes. So we're not only not seeing the world, but we're not even seeing the world clearly because we're not using even the right lenses, added to the fact that we're not standing in the right place. But when we stand on our own ground, using our lens, we see the world in a much, much more different place.
As you said, Usifu, that is really, really important.
And on this journey, we must fly on something very special. We are going to fly on my royal granat kanda peanut shell. Oh, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how can we fly on a peanut shell? How is that possible? I mean, cow footprints, what is the matter with you? How can we fly on a peanut shell? Well, let me ask you a question. In Harry Potter, what do they fly on? Yes, you get it right. A broomstick. A broomstick. Aladdin in Arabia, what do they fly on? A carpet. Yes, you call it a magic carpet. All right, let me ask you further. Dumbo the elephant, what does he fly with? Yes, his ears, all right? His ears. But let me take you even further. Christmas time. What does Santa fly with? Yes, he flies on a sleigh with 6 donkeys, right? Yeah, I know you call it a reindeer. I call it a donkey. Okay, he flies with that. But now, let me tell you, if Santa can fly on a sleigh and then Harry Potter on a broomstick, Dumbo with his ears in Arabia, they fly on a carpet. Well, in Africa, we fly on my royal granat kanda peanut shell.
Especially now, because not only if we don't learn to look at it and give our standpoint and viewpoint, we're always going to be, as you said, the European or the Chinese, and we can never be the head of that. We can only be the head of not the black standpoint, the African standpoint, right?
It is that simple. What you value, you will protect and defend. What you don't value, you will destroy. What you fear, you will eventually destroy. Now, if the narrative that has been created for us that we are standing on, which is the Western narrative, if that narrative is one that tells Africa that Africa is barbaric, it is poor, it is this, if we stand on that narrative, how then can we protect that which we hate? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah.
So because we hate that, we will not protect it, and therefore it has no value. We'll see it as having no value. From our masquerades that we have, our spiritualities that we have, our medicines that we have, the leaves, the herbs, the land, the fish, the diamonds, the golds, the humanities, the young people that we have, all of them have been portrayed from a different standpoint that says our masquerades are evil, our young people are poor, they're running away, our leaders are corrupt, our land is this. Everything has been told to us in this way. So then that's because we're standing from another standpoint. Let us stand from the African standpoint and actually see, is this land really that bad? Is my mango that bad? Are the youths really that bad? Is my family that corrupt? Is it really so? We got to look at that. If it is so, then we are the only ones who can do something about it.
Change the narrative of what's happening.
Absolutely. So whether it is good or bad, just leave it to us. We will deal with it. After all, in Europe, every single day there is a narrative of the Second World War and Hitler and the Jews on television.
Remembrance, etc. Yes.
Absolutely. So, hey, guess what?
We've got a narrative as well, the Ma'afa, the Holocaust, and we should not be ashamed or feel any way to bring it to the fore.
Precisely, we should never be. We should never be. We should be able to confront it. And that's the only way we will be able to address it, so that our children will learn, never do this again. Just like in Rwanda, the case of Rwanda, never go into that kind of...
And not to be afraid as well to make demands from the West for things like Rwanda, for things like our Ma'afa, for things, because let's be real here, as you say, our mango, our gold, our diamonds is the reason why we find ourselves in this position.
If I tell you, our reason for living and coming, because narratives have changed, but our reason for coming is because we're looking for the basic comfort, water, education, food, and all this, and basic stuff. So we're all running over here, and we bought into that lie that if you come here, you'll find it all. Okay, great. But what we're forgetting is this, that where we are, we live in fertile soil, predictable weather. So everything is right there. But if you don't have the right lens to look at it, you'll never see it right. You know, our people say, why go and look for it in Sokoto when it's in your Shokoto?
That's well said. That's a great place to end it. Thank you so much for coming to join us here on Blacktricity and the Pre-Kwanzaa Showcase. As we says, a lot more of you on gotkushTV in 2021. Yes, you'll join us?
Absolutely, 2021 is going to be a fabulous year. And I just want to invite more people to come along to what I'm doing in Sierra Leone with Mambina Fest. It's a big festival to begin to encourage us to go back and look again at our heritage, our cultural heritage, at least in Sierra Leone. And I'm sure Africa is so wide and we have so much to offer. So it is there for people to come in. There is the National Storytelling Festival, which I do there as well. And my hope, my dream is gradually as the years progress, I want to bring more and more of us to go over there. Let us go and change the narrative.
Just do us a promise. Make sure you keep gotkushTV involved, because we're here to support you, Usifu, in whatever you do. If we can large up the diaspora and get the same attention as Ghana has on Sierra Leone, on Liberia, on Nigeria, on the whole of Western, Southern and Eastern Africa, and once we've dealt with that, we'll look at the North, but primarily West, South, East Africa.
Yes.
The diaspora has to make that connection.
Yes.
And that investment as well in order to fulfill everything that we're talking about. People just don't think, oh, this is two old guys with a grey beard just fantasizing.
No, I think my goodness, let's say I've got the land already. and the festival itself has been going on for the past 9 years. Yes, it's going on for 9 years now. So it is all established. It's not even as if I'm just going to go and start. It's there. So now it's going to the next phase now to begin to bring people along. I've laid the format down for people to be able to come. I want our young people to come and experience what it's like to become a man. Let our boys go over and experience our rites of passage for men. Why not? You understand? It's there.
We can mix the traditional with what they are familiar with, the Afro beats and hip life and all of these things, the reggae music, all of these things can be included as well.
Well, young people will begin to find the source of where everything has come from.
It's
right there. It's
Yes.
right there. So yes, I mean, and having gotkushTV there to be a part of this because we need that diaspora exposure definitely. So it will be fabulous.
Excellent. You heard it right here with the amazing Usifu JALLOH, one of a kind, the traditional African storyteller that is international. Let them know where they can find Usifu on social media.
Social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's all the same. My website, www.usifujalloh.com. It's easy to find me.
And everyone who has a wedding or who has a party, you want a traditional African storyteller, you will get no better than this man. And he's been with gotkush from day one. So it's always a pleasure to have him amongst us. And we look forward to helping him grow the festivals in Sierra Leone and to get traditional storytelling passed on to future generations. You are with the UK's #1 conscious platform here on gotkushTV. Keep it where you got it. We're at Blacktricity, Beyond the Return. A lot more coming your way in our pre-Kwanzaa showcase. Namaste.
She was so gorgeous. I mean, everybody wanted to marry this beautiful princess. But she had a problem. She can't dance. How can you have a princess in Africa that cannot dance? I mean, this is just not going to work.
Blacktricity, gotkushTV's exclusive pre-Kwanzaa showcase is now available for you to watch absolutely free. In conjunction with Ghana, Beyond the Return series, we have brought the African diaspora experience directly to you. To watch this monumental event absolutely free, simply register for membership at gotkushtv.com and you will receive access to Blacktricity as well as more exclusive content. Register now at gotkushtv.com.